seeing the magic through their eyes really kind of brought that spark to back to the crew. Nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you too. It's been, like I said, been a while, so this is great.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
let's
Thank you for making the time. Yeah.
oh, I appreciate it. Honestly, this is great. I'm speaking again with Sean Cisterna. One of our I would like to say, Sean, I would like to hear now consider you a regular here on this
I think this
podcast.
is my third or fourth time. Yeah, absolutely. It's nice to be back there, Steve. Thank you for continuing to ask me to come on. So I'm thankful for your help and support.
Honestly, I always love your work, and Silver Screamers is just another example of that. It is so much fun. Honestly, Sean, where did it come from? How did this develop?
Oh, well, if you want the honest answer, I was looking for funding for a horror movie that I wanted to make, and I kept getting, rejected by the usual suspects in the industry. And about the around the same time of my last funding application rejection, I got a notification in my inbox about the from my local member of parliament about applying for the New Horizons for Seniors program, which is this federal fund meant to get older adults out into the community and doing something active and to be engaged in the community in some respect. And I kind of took my failed horror film application and spun it into a an initiative to keep seniors active and involved in their community.
I mean, and you do. This is this is not like any other project that we've seen before from seniors or older people in our community. This is to get them involved in this way is so amazing to see happen. What sort of dialogue were you having with them as the film was coming together?
Oh, yeah, it's just kind of open and honest. I said this is going to be a project that involves blood and gore and all those good horror film tropes. And I think that's why I was met with crickets when I first started pitching this. I feel like I went to 13 or 14 different retirement residences in my area and church groups and senior active living centers and just met with disdain. Nobody wanted to participate. It wasn't until like Audrey, who's 96, kind of raised her hand and said, "Yes, I want to do something like this," and that got the ball rolling, and more participants signed up to be a part of the project.
It's interesting. Like here you go. You've got these people that are involved creating a horror film. And I mean, horror is such an iconic genre. It's one of the major ones we've had. But for people later in life to step in, what like you said that a lot of people turned you down, but I would love to hear from you of what horror, the experience of bringing horror to life, meant to them because it isn't
Mhm.
quite truthfully, it's not a genre we think of when we think of the elder. We think of those 20 and 30 somethings that want to jump in their seats.
Yeah, well, I think there was a curiosity factor for sure. It's something I don't really explore necessarily in my work to date. So yeah, we were all, kind of all up for the challenge of exploring this genre. And it kind of started with this short film, the Rug, that our seniors eventually make during the making of Silver Screamers. And because The Rug, which is a short story about a group of, or sorry, it's about a senior aged woman who finds a discarded rug on the side of a road and brings it home, and the rug, is discovered to have a penchant for flesh. And it's based on a short story by Ado van Belkom. He's a renowned horror author. And because that short story starred a senior age protagonist, we thought, what would it be like to invite a whole crew of, seniors to participate in the making of the film? And it opened up those discussions about, horror has a lot of elements of death in it, and those discussions happened on set. We so the subject of death came up a lot as we were making the film, and we wanted to keep things joyous and uplifting, but I guess everyone's in the back of everyone's head, you know, the theme of death kind of permeated the set at times.
Which is interesting because this is a film where you see them come to life.
Mhm.
And I was wondering for you working with them, being with them during this time, what was it that really got them excited to be a part of something like this?
Hmm. Yeah, I think everyone who participated in the making of the documentary had some sort of, I guess, loss in their life. They either, had limited independence, or they lost a spouse, and I think it was just wanting to become part of a community. These are all people who, maybe not didn't know each other at the start of the project, and by the end of it, they came together as a a real team, a real community, and they formed these friendships that still last to this day. And so, I think, despite the fact that we were all working towards the making of a horror film, it really is a story about community and coming together and seeking, solace in each other's friendship. And yeah.
I love that so much about, I mean, just to see their relationships form
Hmm.
through this. And I mean that happens when anybody, I find this myself, even working with, if we work with young people making a short film, people really come to life when they're brought together to build something, no matter what it is. And we see here, this is what's happening with them.
Yeah, I think the main thing, like they just one of the key, they wanted to ensure that, or really hoped that everybody in the community would kind of come out and support their work. They were very nervous that no one would show up, and despite all their efforts, so they, were just kind of worried that the community wouldn't be there to celebrate their film at the end. So. It's a very feel-good ending, and when the community does come out and support their filmmaking initiatives, that was always the fear during the making of the film. We're putting in all this effort, but we just hope that somebody shows up. So they really felt like real filmmakers. Professional filmmakers. We often wonder whether anyone's going to show up to our work or care about our work. And so it's nice to see that even in these novice filmmakers, it reflected in their thinking as well.
I was going to say, we've talked a lot over the years about different projects. And I mean, I don't know if we've said this or not, but I always believe that art is one of those things that you make and then you give, and you just don't know if anyone's going to take it.
Mhm.
And so that is that would that of course that is nerve-wracking, especially for them as they're stepping in to something like this. Is anybody going to show up? Is
Yeah.
anybody going to care
Yeah.
uh, about what we've built? It's so much fun to watch it come together. Um, what do you take away from this experience? Like, this is a different project than anything you've ever done before. Uh,
Yeah.
how does this change you?
Oh, yeah. Well,
Or does it? It
just yeah.
cannot.
I mean, being on set. I mean, filmmaking in general has become very. What's the word? I don't want to use repetitive, but like I kind of know what to expect on any given day of being on a film set. You show up, you block the actors, you work with a cinematographer to design like a lighting scheme and camera moves, and it all becomes quite routine. But in working with this group, I mean, they showed up wide-eyed every day and just eager for a new challenge, and to see their enthusiasm and excitement for the filmmaking process, that kind of rejuvenated us. I don't want to call myself young, but younger folks on set, to just fall in love with filmmaking again. So just seeing the magic through their eyes really kind of brought that spark to back to the crew. So that's what I loved about it. And just even in the distribution of the film, of course, it's going to different theatrical venues across North America and Europe. But to be able to screen the film in retirement communities and community centers where seniors are kind of most prevalent. It's, we don't want to use this film, as a, we can't just screen the film in theaters because they might be difficult for older adults to get to. So if we can bring the film directly to them and give the retirement community like the film festival experience, it's been a really enriching and rewarding time being able to, screen the film and do Q&As in retirement homes. It's and bringing the film where it's most welcome and needed.
This excite it warms my heart as the film does. The film's funny, it's heartfelt, it's just such a
You're an easy
lovely.
target, Steve. You have a
I
big heart
know.
anyway. You have a big heart anyway, so.
Well, Sean, you mentioned about getting them to see the film. How do we make sure other people see the film? How can people check this out?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the Toronto area, we are opening at Hot Docs on tomorrow, which is Good Friday, at 6:30 p.m. So that's tickets are going very fast. There's only a few left. And then yeah, we're screening all across the country basically. So we're partnering with these different aging research centers in different in universities, and they're programming the film to their communities. So I think next we're in Montreal, and then we just came back from Vancouver, where we opened there. And it's basically you just kind of have to check the listings and follow our social media to see where we pop up next. So you can follow us at Silver Screamers Doc on Facebook and Instagram, and we post our latest screenings there. Next week, I'm headed to Brussels for the Brussels Fantastic Film Festival, and while I'm there, we're making a short film with a group of older adults in Belgium, and we're going to screen their film that we create in those 2 days prior to the screening of Silver Screamers at the Brussels Fantastic Film Fest. And I'm doing the same thing in Scotland as well. We're headed to Scotland in May and doing a workshop for older adults there and screening the film just north of Edinburgh. And so it's been a remarkable opportunity to showcase this film to different communities where it's kind of best served and to engage local old seniors wherever we go.
Honestly, that gives me joy because I mean, you're showing the film, you've done the short, you've done this thing, but now you get to give the experience to others
Hmm.
along the way. I think that, oh man, that's so fun. Oh,
Yeah,
I just think that's really great. I love that so much.
man. Yeah, thank you.
Sean, honestly, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Silver Screamers is it's just delightful. You can't argue with how much fun this film is.
Yeah.
Um, but I really appreciate the chance to chat with you, and thank you so much for your time.
Anytime, Steve. See you on the next one. Next movie, maybe. Do you want to participate? We're going to make an action movie with our seniors next. So if you want a
Don't
cameo,
don't tease me. Don't tease me.
okay,
I'd be there. I'd be there.
I'll call you. I know how to reach out to you now. Okay,
Yes, absolutely.
be in touch. All right, thanks,
Honestly.
man.
Thanks, Sean. Have a great
Yeah.
day.
Talk soon. Bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.